Tuned to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse Radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse Radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
Greetings, everyone. Yes. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to I Am Meta Show with Medicare Doctor and Malika, a breath of fresh air, Underwood. Today, we are in the studio with you, and we are going to be talking about hormones today. All right. How you doing today, Medicare Doctor?
Man, I can't complain. I'm just I would say dragging in after being away for 3 weeks.
Right. Right.
I'm still trying to get the time zones, aligned again here.
Get
So thank you so
reactivated.
much, Malika. Breath of fresh air. It's always a pleasure to sit here with you as we share information on health and wellness, spirit, mind, and body. And as you
Yes.
said, we got that hormone knowledge for them today.
Yes,
So
definitely. All right. So I am so very grateful for everyone joining us. If you're listening in live or you're listening into the replay, make sure you share this with your friends and family members, any little social media groups, wherever you think this information will be helpful and beneficial. Okay. So, we're talking about hormones today. What are hormones exactly? Everybody has heard the word hormones. Sometimes you might have heard it like, oh man, it's that time of the month, her hormones are going crazy. Or you may have heard hormones in the sense of puberty, oh no, their hormones is kicking up, they're getting a little fast, attracted to boys, attracted to girls. You might have heard hormones talking about, oh, the woman, she don't have no hormones no more and she's drying all up and everything. You could have been heard about hormones in all kinds of ways. And why? Because hormones affect every part of your life, every part of your body's functioning. There are some hormones behind the scene. And hormones are chemicals that the body produces in specific areas. And they are like messengers, they're communication, forms of communication. So we have an endocrine system, right? And the endocrine system is what where the hormones are controlled and produced and everything like that. So the endocrine system is the body's system of organs and tissues that send these chemicals messages back and forth to each other to produce a certain effect in the body. Okay, so what am I talking about? So we have different organs in the body, like our pituitary, our pineal gland, our hypothalamus, our uh, gonads, which for women are ovaries and for men are testes, and we have our thymus, which is over our heart area, and we have our thyroid, and we have our adrenal glands. People always talk about their adrenals and stress and cortisol and all this stuff. So your adrenal glands, they're located on top of your kidneys. And then we also have our pancreas. And Even our kidneys produce hormones, and even our fat cells produce hormones. So,
Hormones.
hormones are everywhere, running from the top of your head to the little toes, the tip of your feet. Okay. So, why is this important to know? Okay. They say you are what you eat. So, everything that we eat, there are components in the food, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, um, phytochemicals, antioxidants, all these things in our food. And we need the different nutrients, minerals in our food to produce the hormones. Our organs, our tissues need these minerals and vitamins to produce the hormones. And the hormones regulate things like when we start developing from a child into an adult, when our body starts to become able to produce human life. And hormones control your metabolism, how quickly your body can take food and create energy from it. Hormones have an effect on your hair growth. Hormones have an effect on how your skin looks. Hormones have an effect on how fast your heartbeat regulates or how slow it regulates. It has an effect on your blood pressure. Okay, it has an effect. I mean, hormones are everywhere. Okay, they have an effect on all the parts of your body. So you want to make sure that you're eating balanced for your body. Okay. And this is why our hormones are important. Okay. Um, so everyone may not realize the importance, and it doesn't take much. Hormones, when they go from one part of the body to the next part of the body, there's very small amounts, but those very small amounts have a huge, huge impact. And when your body has a malfunction in your hormonal system, you're going to have an experience, and it's going to, depending on what part of your hormonal system is being disrupted, you're going to experience any number of symptoms. You could experience hair loss, you could experience confusion, you could experience shortness of breath, you can experience erectile dysfunction if you're a man, you could experience low libido, you can experience tiredness, you can experience a lot of things when your hormones are not rocking right. Okay. So it's very, very important to maintain a high standard of nutrition for your body. Okay. Would you like to add anything at this point, Medicare doctor?
Hold on, let me get. Yeah, yes, dear. You touched on a couple of things, and you mentioned hormones. People, like you said, people just maybe think hormones is just one thing, and it's for women. You know, I hear some men they'll say, "Oh, her hormones might be out of balance again," and I don't want a woman to get moody or anything like that. But it's just not that. I feel there are certain times a woman's body go through certain changes. So if you have a balanced menu that you're working with, if you're taking in your water, if you're getting enough sleep, if you're getting enough sun, if you're be able to rest your mind, a lot of hormonal imbalances would actually wouldn't be affecting you in a certain way. It's when we don't get enough sleep and when we're not able to handle stress, and all of these things are impacting us at one time. And like Malika, a breath of fresh air, mentioned, we have multiple hormones that have to work collectively because the womb during uh, the productive years of a woman, which means she'll have a menstrual cycle, which have a menstrual period in there. That's a time when hormones are spitting all over the place. I don't mean to make it sound like that. I mean, it's a scientific way to say it, but I have jokes, right? So hormones are being released in a certain way, and it's only a certain time span. So when you see those hormones have that rush, if you're not like prepared for it, prepare yourself for it every month. prepare for that moment so that you can actually make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure you're drinking enough beet juice, just replenishing what your body's losing. You kind of have mood swings when we're not really taking in what we need to balance our chemicals, our chemistry, body's chemistry. We are all biochemically unique. So what may work for one may not work for the other. One person may be a whole like very stressed, but then you have all those cortisol levels that are very high. When those levels are high, those stress levels are high, your estrogen level actually decreases. So let's say you're a woman, productive years, and you're trying to have a baby. Well, you have all this stress going on and have all these impacts, chemical imbalance, hormonal imbalance. You may think you have a challenge with infertility. And it may not be that you can't it can't be fertilized. It's just that you have to clear the way for that. You have to make a comfortable bed for all of that to take place in something, you have to prepare your body for certain things. So if we impact our bodies with chemicals in the food, the air, the water, we're eating a lot of uh, stuff that create an acidity in our body, the pH balance, instead of having a productive system in that womb space, it may end up fibroids or cysts or different things may affect you. So we have to make sure that we're balancing everything going in, because that's you're going to get the best result that way. Don't think you can be drinking a lot of alcohol, eating whatever you want, and still walk around and be all happy-go-lucky like me. Right? I had to put that one in there. Anyway, yeah, so I'm happy go lucky pretty much because I'm already in my menopause phase. And I know a lot of people in menopause, and the way they have their hot flashes and all that, they feel they're experiencing more discomforts. I'm not discomfortable in my menopause phase because what I'm eating is nourishing to my body. What I'm eating and consuming, it's cleansing to my body. I know what I need to do now in addition to what I hadn't done before, because if you no longer have that menstrual period in your cycle, okay, your body's going to have a different effect, because whatever is going on in the womb space, those hormones are not being released anymore for productivity to happen. And just remember, as a fetus in the mother's womb for an XX chromosome, your sack of eggs are already there. You don't produce eggs every month, you release them until it's little or none. When the 80-year-old woman got pregnant, people are like, well, how'd she get pregnant? Well, maybe she had that one more egg that just happened to poop out. And maybe grandpa was like, hey, baby, let's get a, last roll in the hay or something. And at 80, she had a baby. That one last egg. See, all it takes is one. So it's not like we produce eggs every month, we release them. And it has a whole hormonal process, that estrogen, that progesterone, all of that has to take place. The lutein is in, all of that has to be part of the process to make it work in a certain way. You also mentioned the adrenals. There are people who don't even know about adrenals. They don't know that the adrenals is what controls or monitor, I would say, monitor the body's temperature, the body's rates of stress levels. See, when you get your adrenals, it's like your fright, flight, or fight. It shifts. Those hormones are spit out depending on where you are. You can be sitting here and back and forth, and you can be in a tit for tat with someone. But let a big rolling locomotive train come and you're standing on that track. You're going to forget about that argument because your body instantly go into a different mode. It's automatic, and it's a fight or flight mode. So all of these levels of hormones are being pushed out. So if you're very anxious and always just very stressed and worried and very combative and all of that, or always just harsh and hard, you need to calm down, because it will affect a lot of other physiological process. I've mentioned this before. on a few shows. There is a oat access, OAT, O period, A period, T period, right? So the oat axis is the ovary, which is ovarian, adrenal, thyroid. Those three have to work together, and the three of them releases hormones to make things work. When the hypothalamus and the, all these glands in the endocrine system in the brain, they put out hormones to instruct glands on what to do. The pineal gland, all of them have a function. So it's one hormone connecting and communicating with another. And then the thyroid is like, oh, yeah, let me balance that weight. Let me balance this. Let me make sure that the levels of everything, because the thyroid have to put out certain hormones as well. The adrenals put out certain hormones as well. So we have to make sure we understand that there's a process. And when I say oat axis, that's within the woman. But there's a counterpart within the men, like how we have the ovary, the men have the testes. All right. So the testes, the adrenals, the thyroids, it's connected. You kind of have to work. I mean, it's more of an axis in the women because it's mandatory. It has to work together. One wouldn't function without the other, or it will malfunction, or it will lack function and production if one is disrupted in some kind of way. And we're only talking about that. And I guess I just jumped onto the womb and stuff like that because I actually taught a class on womb health. So it's on the top of my head. But we have to be aware that there are multiple hormones. Get to know your hormones inside, get to know what the process is, and see the type of herbal remedies and whatever you may need to intake or consume to balance that. There are people who are very rigid, and I literally tell them they're especially if they're biting their nails all the time. That's a nervous condition, and nerves have to do endocrine system. I mean, it connects with the brain. So we have to make sure that our nerve health is in place. We have to make sure of these things, because if it's not, it's going to affect the process somewhere else. And when we have too much hormone imbalances going on, things may manifest. Things may manifest. If you have too much estrogen in your system, and that could be man or woman. And let me share a story real quick. When I used to live in Brooklyn when I was younger, I made all my foods. I made all my milks. I would go to Chinatown and get organic soybean. I never bought soybean from an American store that was made and produced in America because they're GMO. If you go to China, they're not eating GMO soya. They're eating natural soya. They know the effects of it. But they will produce it for you to eat it because it's about money for them. But nevertheless, let's talk about that soya. The one that's GMO that's produced in America here, right? They infuse it with estrogen. That's why there are lawsuits on file right now. Men are suing these companies because they started to grow breasts because the estrogen levels have increased. Then they may have low testosterone level. When your estrogen level goes up like this, your testosterone goes down like that. So that may affect men. If you're eating tofu, if you're going to Chipotle and getting them tofu bowls and all them thing, them GMO tofu, yes, you are intaking lots of estrogen. And as a man, XY chromosome, you need to be very conscious of what you're eating and how you're eating it. I made all my milks. I made all my soybean curds, what they call tofu. I can make that from scratch, yes, right? So I made all of those things, but it was natural. Also, women, we are already estrogen dominant. So when we eat things that are feeding us more estrogen from the outside of us, it gives us an overabundance of it, and we may start to even have lumps in our breasts. It may affect our womb. It affects our function because we have too much estrogen, and it throws your whole hormone, like literally throws it totally off. You would feel the imbalance. And it's absolutely necessary for us to have this balance when we are, from day to day. So you look into it, and, we are going to like dissect the hormones. Like each Sunday, we're going to cover one or two or three different type of hormones. Today is just a general introduction that we will be speaking about it in more details because it's way too much for us to try and cover in a 1 hour show. So
Definitely.
right. So I'm gonna say a few for y'all to write it down and just start your research. I'm a student. That's why I'm a great teacher, because I'm a great student. I love to learn so that I can share information. And you want to look into a couple things. I know we're going to speak about the growth hormones and stuff. We're going to speak about that in details at another show. You will know the time, but just so you would know, the pituitary gland, which is where your first eye is. You see, your pineal gland is not here. That's your pituitary gland, your first eye. And for all of the simple Simons that have not visited the show before to know what I mean by that first eye, the first eye is there before the fetus develops these two eyes. So this is not a third eye, it was here first. These came after. So I will be very scientifically, I will articulate it that way as a first eye because that's what it is. But that's where your pituitary gland is, and it's also responsible for growth hormones.
Hmm.
So when you got a lot of stress and you got a lot of stuff going on, you see the migraine headaches and you get in the center of your head, all them sinus headaches, all that affects that area. So look into your different glands. Look into your the thyroid that Malika already mentioned. There's another one called glucagon, created by the pancreas. Yes, your pancreas that works with the kidney, that controls insulin levels and all of that. It produces a hormone that's necessary. So we have to take care of our kidney health. You get my point? One thing will affect the other. Don't think you can just live your life and have all these problems, go to the doctor, this and that, and you're not really paying attention to or knowing yourself and knowing your functions and what you need to do to just have a productive, optimal health, you know. But okay, Malika, because I'll get deep. I have a whole list here, but we'll cover it.
Yes, it's all good. It's all good. So definitely know that as well as the reproductive organs have an effect upon them from hormones. Like Medicare doctor said, they're also your entire system, your nervous system, your cardiovascular system, your lymphatic system, they are all influenced and controlled by your hormones. So, your hormones, Medicare doctor was definitely pointing out to us the pituitary gland located within the brain. And the pituitary and the hypothalamus gland, those two glands, they're like considered to be like the master glands because they send hormones or chemical messengers to all the other
Yeah,
endocrine glands. And then those endocrine glands send out their hormones to the receiving organs to do whatever needs to be done, right? So we have, so it's very important for us to understand how the hormones work throughout our
yes,
body. So when you have your pituitary gland, your hypothalamus gland sending chemical messengers, hormones to your pituitary gland, and then the pituitary sends it to your endocrine, your reproductive, or to your thymus, or to your pancreas. This is letting you know that there is a very important chain of reactions happening here.
yeah,
And so, because it's an important chain of reactions, if one chain is out of the link, it's going to be a weakness right there. And
yeah,
it's going to affect everything and every process that's supposed to follow behind it. Okay. So, why is this important? Because we can affect our hormonal production by the things that we do and the things that we eat, consume. So when a person is stuck in the house all the time, they're not getting fresh air, they're not getting sunlight. It's very important, sunlight, okay? When you're not getting enough sunlight and exposure to the elements, your body actually responds by a different influx of hormonal production. And in order to keep everything balanced and in homeostasis, which means keeping everything in balance. Okay.
Yes.
So when you are in the sun, you the sun and your skin and the chemicals in your skin, the hormones in your skin have a reaction to produce vitamin D.
Yes.
And vitamin D is vitally important for your nervous system. Vitamin D is vitally important for melanin production. And melanin is not just located in the skin of people, but it is also located in some of your organs. And
Yes.
that melanin inside of your organs is very, very important. It's vital to a healthy functioning body. Okay. So there are so many things that everybody says to do. Okay. And everybody knows what to do. Everybody knows get plenty of sunshine, go outside, get some fresh air. Everybody knows exercise 15 to 30 minutes every day at minimum. Everybody knows to eat a well balanced meal a few times a day. Everybody knows to eat your vegetables. Everybody knows to drink enough water, but everybody's not doing
Yep.
it. And the reason why these things are so important is because they really do affect your hormones. And when you wake up in the morning and say you may be feeling foggy, you might have like a foggy feeling, you maybe can't think
Yep.
clearly. Perhaps you don't know. I'm just going to name off some different things, but perhaps you eat and you don't come to a feeling of fullness. That's hormones.
Yep.
Hormones are involved in your stomach feeling full.
Yep.
There are some pressure cells within your abdomen and within your stomach, excuse me, that actually send signals to the brain, say, hey, there's a lot of food up in here, stop eating. But there are also chemical sensors. There's also hormones that detect whether or not you are full and will send a message to the brain, say, okay, stop eating, we're done, it's enough,
Yeah.
you're beyond. But some people, because of hormonal imbalances, they don't
Yep.
get the signal. And
Yeah.
so it's very important for us to really investigate ourselves and to be aware of ourselves so that we can begin to individually eat for our body's health, eat individually, drink individually for our body's health. Like knowing your body individually. So you have your spouse or your boyfriend, husband, wife, girlfriend, children, grandparents, mother, father, whoever you have with you in your close to you in your life. What's good for them may not be good for you because you have a different hormonal flow happening in your body. You are a different stage of life than they are. You perceive things differently than they do. And even how you perceive things can be a hormonal
Yep.
imbalance, or it could be a balance of your hormones. And that can help you to see things clearly.
Mhm.
So, hormones are very, very important. Okay. And it's very important to maintain health and well being within your body, your mind, your spirit, and your heart so that you can have proper balance and flow of hormones throughout your tissues. And many people are starting at a point where their hormones are imbalanced, but you may not even know it because you
Right.
may think it's something else.
Yes.
So, we're going to talk about how you can recognize, what are some things that can show you that your hormones are off balance. And definitely you will want to go and see your best choice healthcare provider in that case. But so we are going to be taking a break at this time for the Powerhouse Radio Show.
Hmm.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
One bottle here, full range of products embodies fundamental nutrients necessary to maintain beautiful and healthy hair care without having to combine an assortment of hair care products. The One by One Care products are designed to rejuvenate, moisturize, create shine, fortify, and stimulate hair growth while leaving your hair feeling weightless and luxurious. Be sure to visit our website at www.onebywandkaya.com and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at One Bottle Care. Let's get your healthy hair care journey started today. The Hinkson Firm's mission is to provide superior legal service in the areas of family law, child welfare law, general legal services, and mediation by keeping convenience of the clients at the forefront. The Hinkson Firm's goal is to eliminate the stress of an already intense situation in your life by coming directly to your workplace and or a location close to your home for consultation, meetings, and mediation. The Hinkson Firm customized legal attention based on the needs of each client while treating every client with the dignity and respect they deserve, while fighting strongly and fiercely for justice and their legal rights. The Hinkson Firm can be reached at 470-499-4704.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
All right, all right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy to be here. And you know what? We want to thank all our listeners, all our viewers, no matter where you are. If you're just listening, if you can see us, whether you're on YouTube, IG, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're just tuned in to the powerhouseradio.com, right? That's Lady D's powerhouseradio.com. Big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Please like, comment, share. Ask us some questions. You can even send some emails to the powerhouseradio@gmail.com. Let us know you might want to listen to a certain topic or hear a certain topic or be part of a panel to discuss a certain topic. And keep in mind, it's all about health and wellness, dear. Okay? We don't want politics. We don't discuss all of those things. Not to say it doesn't have an impact on the health, but we want to keep it specific because we want to speak about healing. We want to speak about restoration and maintenance. So we don't want to really discuss some of the problems outside of health that help us push us over that edge sometime. But we would like to speak about some resolutions and some options that you may have to help out in your situation. Okay, so give us a link at the Powerhouse Radio. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to know. A lot of times, we have viewers asking us questions and we're not sure, but say something like the comment, put the comment on the video link or the comments in that section instead of calling me, instead of sending it to my text message. I want to see you on the video making your comments. So I will not be responding to any comments that is shared to my text message, okay? Because that's really not the import part of where we want to receive that information. And don't be afraid or scared to ask a question. Nobody's going to say is you're asking for yourself. You could be asking for someone else, and it doesn't matter anyway. You're just trying to get information. It's called enlightenment. It's called being aware. So put it up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we were just speaking about D3. And I say D3 because people will say vitamin. D3 or D2, it's really technically not a vitamin. It's a hormone.
Yep.
It's a hormone. And most of it, because the skin is the largest organ, most of it is developed, produced in the skin because you get out there in the sun and you get everything popping. Yeah, that D3 is going to be really, doing what it needs to do. And it's being absorbed back into the body. But, vitamin D is a hormone
Yep.
produced by the kidneys to help control the concentration of calcium. How you think people end up with kidney stones?
Right.
They lack certain hormones, so things build up. You can have calcium buildup, or you can have protein buildup in the kidney. And I mean, most of the time, is calcium. When things are calcified, you have to remember we eat things, and it has things that does not break down to a science. It doesn't break down, so it leaves particles and it builds up. Okay, so uh, the D controls the concentration of calcium in the blood and is vital for the development of strong bones. That's
Yes.
why if you check your grandmother pan cabinet in the bathroom, most likely her doctor may be prescribing D3. A lot of elders are prescribed D3 because they don't really get out as much in the sun anymore. And of course, their physiological functions has probably slowed down so much, metabolism and all that. So you have a different pace now with production. So I would say if you are of melanin descent, you are required to have a whole lot more D3 in your system than maybe another ethnic group. All right. If you have color in your skin, if you're melanin, you have to have more. And for a woman, I mean, it's like 30,000 IUs per day. So we're talking, and you might get a bottle that has 10,000 per capsule. So it's only 3 capsules, really. So get to know what your body needs and get to overstand deficiencies. Because another thing about D, it's when it absorbs the calcium from the gut. You have to remember the gut and the brain have a connection. Hormones are chemical messengers. So when let's say you have leaky gut, you got something going on in the gut, your messages is going to be coming across real scrapey. It's not going to be real fluent. Anything is going on to hinder the process, your messages are not coming through clearly inside of you. The brain is not acknowledging certain things. So it's mostly produced in the skin because the skin is the largest hormone. So I always say, take care of your skin. Take care of your skin. If you have, you know, skin issues, let's see if we can get to the bottom of it. You can also send an email to the Powerhouse Radio if you would like to participate in a complimentary consultation regarding it's a 10 to 15-minute consultation. You may have some questions on a health matter, and if it's this show, then it has to pertain to this show. Or if it's any particular show, go to the video, see what you'd like to know more about, and send us an information. And when it says the Powerhouse Radio, it's DA Powerhouse Radio at gmail.com. Right. So send some emails if if you're shy and you don't want to put a comment in the section and ask questions. Okay. Also, about I would say the kidney is what converts that D. All right. So it's called a calcitrol. I have to pause before I pronounce these. Yeah, calcitrol. So we have to make sure we're understanding the process. Learn more about your body. There are people out here eating whatever, and they're not even clear on how it's digested or processed in the system. For instance, if you have too much calcium in your system, if you're low on vitamin D, then you don't need to be packing on a bunch of spinach. You don't need to be doing that spinach smoothie. Spinach is high in calcium. Yes, it's a leafy green, it's antigenetic and all that. However, you have to, see if you're low in something that's necessary to break down calcium, then you need to monitor how much calcium you're eating because it's not going to be processed and it's going to start to build up in your kidneys or something. All right. And another thing, if you're low in magnesium, magnesium is a precursor for calcium metabolism. Get to know what's going on in your body and really understand the hormone because it sends signals. That's where everything starts. For you to get up, it sends a signal for you to wake up. Alzheimer patients, if you are familiar with any of the neurological challenges, when they don't wake up, it's because the pineal gland did not send an instruction for them to wake up. When people say, "Oh, nothing," she wasn't, nothing was wrong. She wasn't ill. He wasn't ill. He just didn't wake up the next day. Well, they didn't get the instruction to wake up. The hormonal didn't, it didn't connect to wake up. Seems simple, huh? Simply said, huh? But you have to understand the science. You have to understand the science. So, um, man, we have so much, and we're going to break it down over the next couple of shows. You know, parathyroids, everything has a difference. If you see you're gaining a lot of weight and you're not eating much, well, that is a lot of time considered hypothyroidism
Mm-hmm.
because your metabolism is slow. And with hyperthyroidism, that's when you're slender, eating a whole lot of food and can't gain any weight because the metabolism is too fast. Your thyroid shows it can, the body shows the imbalance in the effects, and you have to realize. So if you're someone out there and you see you can't lose weight and you can't seem to throw it on, well, check the thyroid. And if you're a woman, when you're taking care of that thyroid, make sure you take care of your stress levels and your ovaries. Whether you're menopause or not, whether, you know, it all still kind of have a connection. So I'm trying to at least say we have to remember we need certain valued processes to just have optimum health, just to stay healthy. And be careful of what you're eating, man. Careful what you're eating. And I don't mean to say man. Be careful what you're eating, people. Because I used to have a problem when I would go to like a conference or something, and the speaker would get up there and say, "How you guys doing?" I would look at like, we're not all guys sitting here. So I know the feeling. So I know some simple Simon out there is saying, "Oh, she's being." No, I'm not. I'm going to be very general. People. How about that? People. And I didn't say sheeple. I said people because I'm gonna speak about sheeples one day too. But anyway, yeah. And don't think running to the doctor and getting pharmaceuticals is going to help you because you're going to have to stay in those pharmaceuticals. They're going to keep you on there one way or the other because it doesn't solve the problem. You have to just know the science of your body, of your personal body, because we are all biochemically unique. We can all do the same detox, and we all go through the process differently, right?
Yes,
So Malika,
definitely.
we can let me see what other we can give them a couple. 'Cause we did cover. Uh, you know what? Okay, okay. You see the oxytocin and all that. That's what stimulates contractions and stuff, uterus, breast milk to be produced. It's important.
Yeah.
We have to feed our cells. And because I am a woman of melanin descent, I feed my melanin cells because it's different. I have to feed my cells differently. I rarely know people that melanin, a lot of melanin people that eat rare steaks and stuff like that. It's like that kind of stuff don't really agree with us. But I know a lot of people like that stuff, but it doesn't agree with us.
Right.
So we have to be very careful of how we're eating and what we're eating. And some people, they feel fairly healthy, and that's fine because they're probably moderate throughout their life and, know that they have some moderation and just kind of know their limits and they may be healthy. But just keep in mind, you know, with meats you have a whole lot more of parasites in abundance in the body. So all of that stuff, parasites intercept signals between hormones. So that's another thing you have to look at. When you see your signals are not being received and you have certain effects, do a parasite cleanse. And we got a really great one too. Send us an inquiry or make a comment on one of these shows. We'll follow up, right? Get in touch with us. But yeah, we have an excellent parasite cleanse. Hey, Juliet
Yes,
Reed. Hi,
definitely.
first time listener. Back to the gut. What are some of the things we can do to have a healthy gut? Well, we're going to be actually discussing healthy gut when we do digestion, which is the another show that we're going to be doing, right? And we're going to save those comments for or information for that show, so we're not putting the cart before the horse. But we are going to say hormones are messengers for things to happen in the body. So when you're not eating right and when you have other outside chemicals, even pharmaceuticals, they mask, they leech on to other uh, vital elements or cells, or they leech on, and the brain may not recognize that anymore because this chemical now is masking it. That's the kind of stuff that happen. Parasites, yeah, you'll wake up at 2 a.m. wanting to eat a Snicker bar. That's not your body. Your body don't crave sugar. Parasites crave sugar. But parasites have chemical, they have a neurotransmitter. And those neurotransmitters, they communicate with the brain. It's kind of like just it comes in and bogards everything else. So the brain only acknowledges what the parasite is saying. And you're in your sleep and you're gonna wake up and go to your refrigerator and probably look in there and be like, man, let me see if I got a piece of apple pie, something. You're gonna want something sweet. The body does not crave sugar. Parasites does. And you have to look into hormonal imbalance because those parasites, they'll mask things and you won't even be communicating inside chemically efficiently. All right. So Malika, go on through with them.
Hey, so I just wanted to quickly just say to Juliet, thank you for joining us on here. We are glad you are our first time listener, and we look forward to you coming back again to listen. And just to touch briefly on your question about what things you can do to have a healthy gut, one of the best things you can do is to um, get with someone who can, like a health and nutrition coach, i.e., me, and have a consultation because everyone's body is different. The reason why you may be having gut issues is going to be different than the next person. And so while we will be sharing general tips in the future, we're going to go in depth into some things. To specifically know what you need to do is best to have a consultation. So if you
Yes.
definitely want to give one of us a call or send us a message, you can definitely do that, and we will be available to have a consultation with you. Again, thank you for being a first time
Inquiry.
listener, and continue to listen, share with your friends and family, because right now we're talking about hormones and it's very important. Something else I wanted to talk about with hormones is the hormones. So our next few shows, Juliet, thank you for your question. Thank you for asking us what were some of the subjects we're going to be discussing in our upcoming shows. We're going to be discussing hormones even further. We're going to take groups of hormones in detail and speak about them, and we'll be more specific about the ways that it's impacts your life and how you can actually reverse impact your hormonal system to be balanced through hormones. And then we're going to be talking about digestion, and we'll also be touching on things like yoga. We'll be touching on things like mental health. We'll be touching on a variety of topics. So just stay tuned. Just keep tuning in every Sunday here, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and we will be sharing some things. And you can also share with us topics that you would like us to talk about, because we do welcome show topic suggestions. So if there's a show topic that is there health and wellness topic you would love us to cover, then definitely share with us, and we will definitely include that in our lineup. And again, I
Yes.
appreciate your question. I appreciate you listening, and just please share, like the video, share with your friends and family, share it on Facebook, share it on wherever your social media is. And So, as we're coming close to a close of the show, I just want to talk on hormones as it relates to development early in life. Hormones run the show when it comes to the physiological processes in our body when it's time for growth, from pre-utero or pre-birth in utero to post-birth out in the world. Our body is run by hormones more efficiently, I would say, but that's starting to become that has been interrupted on many levels because children's development, and then later on adults development, is being interrupted by endocrine disruptors. And endocrine disruptors are chemicals in our environment, either out there in the air or in the things we put on our skin or the things that we ingest into our body, that actually can mimic hormones in our body.
Yes.
They can actually block our hormone receptors. So each tissue has different openings on the outside of the cells to receive certain hormones from other hormone or producing organs. And some endocrine disruptors, different chemicals, they can actually sit in those openings and block the actual hormone that is supposed to go there and tell those cells what to do. That is a problem. Okay. So you don't want to have endocrine disruptors running around your body, but this is a reality that many people are living right now. Endocrine
Yes.
disruptors can also, so let's see, they can disrupt the flow, they can block the channels, and they can mimic our actual hormones. And then the body will think it's utilizing hormones, and it's not. So then your
Right.
body does not have the proper processes actually flowing to maintain a proper balance of health and well-being
Right.
within. And then you will just find out this by, you will notice that you're just not feeling right, or there will be things that start to come up in your body. So talking about what'd you say, Juliet? Say, I used to listen on the internet, but my sister told me about your YouTube channel. I will be sharing with others. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Juliet. Thank
Thank you,
you
my
so much.
sister.
You are so appreciated. Your sister is very appreciated.
Yeah.
We thank you so very much for listening to us here on the show, watching us so much, and we thank you for sharing very much. Again, please let us know what topics. We know you want to talk about healthy gut, and we're definitely going to be talking about that in upcoming shows.
May
So,
I add something on that note with you?
mm-hmm.
When you said about healthy gut, right? And Juliet, I know you asked a question, but at least I found a response that included hormone. So I will
Yeah.
use this response, right? Hormonal fluctuation or imbalance can impact the speed that food moves through the digestive system, which means through the intestine. And in some cases, hormone levels may cause food to pass through faster than usual. And that's when you may see loose bowels and just different things. There's leaky gut and all kind of stuff out there. So um, when we comes to stomach issue, we're actually going to be covering more details in the digestive show, and that's going to be coming up. We're going to do two more hormone shows, I believe, because the shows are just an hour, so we're going to be doing like two more hormonal shows. I know we're going to touch the middle of February. We are going to speak about love as an energy. We're not talking about in love, loving this body, outer love, broken heart. No, no, no. We're going to speak about love as energy and how people interpret love in a way that they can just pick it up and put it down. We're going to be covering that. So we are also going to be doing the digestion. We were to do it in December, but um, we're all away doing whatever we're doing, and now we're back. So we will cover that. We wanted to do it before everybody was piling up their plate in November, December, but it's okay. We'll get to it because it's all about that gut health. Your gut and the brain are connected. Peace, Songbird Melody, peace, goddesses. Thank you, my goddess sister Songbird Melody, for being here again today. Yes, I hope to see you again next week. Yes, we're back, dearies. We're back on track here, right? So Malika is going to go ahead and wrap it up for us today.
All right, then. So we just want to everyone to be mindful that hormones, they run your life physically, mentally, emotionally, from birth and on. I mean, even before that. So What I wanted to share with you guys before we go is hormones. People talk about hormones with puberty, and they just only think about sex hormones.
Yep.
They only want to think about, oh, this one is fast and that one like girls, and this one's doing too much and that one is sassy and this and that. So the hormones do more than bring attraction of um, our sexual energy to another human being. The hormones also stimulate increased appetite in our children. So when you see your child eating up the house and home, refrigerator cabinets and everything
Hormone.
between the ages of 9 and 13, you just want to allow them. You're just going to have to increase your food bill and
Yep.
the food distribution, because that is a growing human being right there. Okay.
Yeah.
And so just also being mindful that it's a very, very critical point in a human being's life physically, when they are from birth through puberty, that they receive the best nutrition possible, because that is what's becoming the foundation of their hormone system, the foundation of their physical being. And most all parents want the best for their children. And so, for those of you who want the best for your children, we want you to feed them the best, because there's a lot out in the world that is already bombarding us, bombarding our systems, that we have to then fight off. So, hormonally, we want to give our children the best foundation possible. Feed them lots of fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, and
Take
cooking
away the sugar.
healthy
Sheesh.
meals. Yes, definitely, right? And so that they can have of the best foundation possible. Okay.
Yeah.
And just allowing them to learn about their body, learn about their health, and make healthy decisions as adults. Okay. So just know that when your little one is getting sassy with you, or when your son is ignoring you, it's not necessarily intentional, but it's hormonal.
It's
Okay.
hormonal.
They are experiencing an influx of hormones that they have never experienced before. So a lot of things are changing with them. So have a little more patience with them
Yeah.
while they learn to live with the hormones you've been living with for 20, 30, 40 years. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate everyone. Again, share the show, like and subscribe to the channel. Look us up on Facebook, Malika, A Breath of Fresh Air, Medicare Daughter. You just want to be tuned into what we're doing, because we are going to be doing some great things. We are doing great things already, and
Every
we are
day.
just going to be doing more great things. So happy 2022 to everybody. And, calendar year. And we just appreciate you all for tuning in.
Well, I'm so happy you said calendar year. She's speaking about the Roman Gregorian calendar year. So someone said to me yesterday, Happy New Year. I said, thank you in advance. I so look forward to the spring equinox. Because that's the Earth's new year, dearies, when everything begins to bloom. So right
Yeah.
now, go into incubation, take care of your
Mhm.
health, take care of your mind, your spirit, and get ready to bloom
Yes.
during the spring equinox. You have to join us, because it's one of the most splentabulous moments. Stay tuned, for it's all about love with Lady D, Cool G, and Blossom. All right. Peace and love. Thank you for being here.